I think if we take a few steps back to roughly 2018, this was when TikTok first emerged as a social network. Its background is it's a spin-off of Douyin. Douyin is a Chinese social network, and it's kind of the Chinese version of TikTok. And what it did is it bought a popular social network for younger users here out in the West called Musical.ly. So Musical.ly is the origins of TikTok, but it became Chinese owned. And users and governments, especially in Western economies, started to get concerned that the Chinese government were harvesting data from users' phones, looking at user activity, and maybe even shaping what users see on TikTok. So it's all about concerns whether the Chinese owners are using the apps that we use here in the West day to day and manipulate them in certain ways.
Chu, you are here because the American people need the truth about the threat TikTok poses to our national and personal security.
We do not promote or remove content at the request of the Chinese government.
The question is, the question is, are you 100% certain that they cannot use your company to promote such messages?
It is our commitment to this committee and all our users that we will keep this free from any manipulation by any government.
If you can't.
Currently in the US, TikTok is facing a potential ban, and this is as a result of Senate appearances where the organization's CEO, Xiaozi Chu, was asked a series of questions about security of data, whether or not TikTok is being used by Chinese government to look at users' activities, and broadly, whether it's a security threat. And back in, I think it was January 2024, TikTok's appearances in front of Senate did not satisfy US senators. So a process started, culminating in, if TikTok doesn't split away from its Chinese owners, a ban in the United States.
On this vote, the yeas are 352, the nays are 65. One present, 2/3 being in the affirmative. The rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without the objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Thank you. TikTok is a threat to our national security because it is owned by ByteDance, which does the bidding of the Chinese Communist Party. We know this because ByteDance leadership says so, and because Chinese law requires it. This bill therefore forces TikTok to break up with the Chinese Communist Party. It does not apply to American companies. It only applies to companies subject to the control of foreign adversaries defined by Congress.
Kentucky reserves, the gentlewoman from Washington is recognized.
So what we're currently experiencing is this period where TikTok is being forced by US lawmakers to actually divest. So what they want is for TikTok to be fully independent, to not be potentially used by Chinese government. And if it does not do something that satisfies the government will implement a ban. So potentially from Sunday, the 19th of January, 2025, US users will not be able to access TikTok. They might look at ways to bypass the ban. There's rumored, VPNs, that kind of thing. But as of Monday, we might face 170 million users not accessing TikTok now.
美国众议院通过的这个法案，让美国站在了公平竞争原则和国际经贸规则的对立面。如果所谓国家安全的理由可以用来任意打压别国的优秀企业，那就毫无公平正义可言。
TikTok has this week released communications to its employees, internal memos, which have been circulated externally now, encouraging staff to turn up to work on Monday and encouraging staff to trust internal communication and not speculation on social media or in the press. But as far as we know, staff are all still turning up to work in TikTok's US offices on Monday. TikTok is saying that there's a plan, but it's not saying what the plan is, probably because it's going to be right down to the line. One of the things that TikTok users have been doing in recent days, almost in an act of protest, is using other apps that are similar, but are also Chinese owned to show just how many there are. One of which is RedNote. Now, RedNote's been around a long time. It launched in 2013. It's mainly used by Chinese social media users, and it's got over 300 million users. It had 200 million in 2023, 100 million in 2021, steadily growing. So it's not new, it's no surprise, but up until a week ago, there weren't really any American or English-speaking users of the app, and its popularity is surging. RedNote's really interesting. It looks like a hybrid of Instagram and TikTok. It's got two feeds, not just one, so you can consume more information. So it's got a different twist on it. And actually, in the last 3 days, RedNote has actually been launching a series of English language functions, including how many views hashtags are receiving and user data as well. So it is actually making a play for the American user base. So senators should be aware that unless they're going to ban every app they don't like the look of, users are going to vote with their feet.
On this vote, the yeas are 360 and the nays are 58. The bill is passed without objection. A motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
RedNote has received investment for a number of high-profile technology companies, including Alibaba and Tencent, which are also Chinese. So I think fast forward a few months, I wouldn't be surprised if RedNote comes under the same scrutiny that TikTok has over the last 2 years.
Oh, there you go. Loading biryani.
Frenchie?
Frenchie on the knees.
Has global ambitions. It's changing its functions so that it's English language user friendly. And the content, you're seeing a lot more English language content on there. The hashtag TikTok has received 2 billion views. TikTok refugee, which is a really popular one, nearly 1 billion views. So you're seeing a lot of activity from English language users, and the app itself, through the changes to its technologies, is showing that it really does have global ambitions.
You guys want to see something cool? Watch this. Someone please tell me how it's 2020.